This is my humble brag, guys. I don't know if you know what a humble brag is, but it's basically you telling a story about something that humbled you. Now, I have multiple instances in my life that I go through with just situations that end up humbling me in the end, and I think that I want to really share just kind of my story of the past couple months since I really turned 25. A lot of people may look and think that my life is just glamorous, it's just perfect, it's just porcelain, and it is not at all. What you guys see on social media is really the best parts of everything. I do try to tie in things that I really go through in real life situations because there's so much marketing on Instagram. There's so much marketing on social media, and a lot of people don't realize that they're really marketing their lives. They're showing you the best parts of what they really go through and not really introducing you to the struggle, you know, the things that people are able to go through but then overcome. So I want to let you guys know that you're not alone. If it is someone out there who can relate, who has been through similar situations, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm extremely transparent. Some people think sometimes a little bit too much, you know, of what I say can be a little bit too open. In my mind, if I can influence, if I can help, if I can assist, if I can motivate the next person, I've done my due diligence as a person who's truly and really been through stuff and seen the best of both sides of the world. So since I turned 25, which was a couple months ago, I have really experienced a lot. I went through almost purchasing one of my dream cars to then being humbled to having to put money into my car that broke down on me, which was my previous dream car. I had set goals aside for myself to not only manage my finances to buy the car that I wanted, but, you know, the car that I had purchased when I was younger died on me on my 25th birthday, literally. So I had to really scale back with that, you know, doing everything that I needed to do to try to, you know, just make sure that my birthday was great. And it was a struggle. It was hard. But, you know, from there, I had studied for a really, really long time for real estate. I had been actually in night classes while I was still working, still seeing clients, still managing my birthday, everything. And I studied my behind off. My friends knew I was not on social media. I was not going out. I was barely working out, everything. Like, I had literally changed my life for a month to just focus, and was still trying to juggle everything else that I was going through with, you know, my car, with work, with, you know, everything, and just dedicating my time to real estate. Then I failed the test. So then, you know, situations with my job started to kind of just fall apart. I really just reflected on, you know, the amount of income that I was receiving with the amount of work that I was putting in. And because our company had scaled back so much, I started to realize, like, I'm making the most for the company that I'd ever made before, but I was making the least in my pocket because of the way that they had scaled things down. I was looking left and right in different meetings every other Monday and realizing that the numbers of teams kept getting shorter. People kept quitting, people were leaving, and we weren't really having any additions. So a lot of house cleaning started to happen amongst my company, which, to be honest, really just woke me up and making me realize, like, hey, you've given this company 3 years. Like, you need to try to figure out what your next step is, because you're now getting underpaid of what you used to get highly paid for. So, you know, that was a different type of turn in September. And then October, someone who was really, really close to me actually had gotten murdered. And it was about 5 minutes after I spoken to him is when someone took his life. And it was probably the toughest situation that I think I had ever been through in my life. One of the most traumatic experiences that I think I had ever experienced. And just knowing that, I mean, I was speaking to him minutes before his life was taken, and I'm thinking I'm going to get a call back in the morning. But instead, I wake up to all these text messages saying how he was killed. That was one of the craziest things that I think I had ever even read on my phone. You know, a person that I spoke to every day of my life, every moment of where I felt weak, he was the one person that I feel like uplifted my spirits and pushed me to my full potential and told me I could do anything. And then to lose him was crazy. And I know I'm not the only person that goes through stuff like that, you know. for a person not to see 30 and you just turning 25 and you thinking like, oh, like, I'm going to see you in 3 days, you know, like, you're going to pick me up from the airport. It's going to be great. And now, instead of that, I was traveling home to go to his funeral instead. So, that was a big break, I think, in my life. And it just kind of just pushed me. I mean, as bad and as depressed as I was, as stuck as I was, I mean, my friends know I couldn't even form a sentence, you know, like I couldn't talk. I didn't want to be happy. I didn't want to be myself. I didn't want to get dressed. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to shower. And like, just to not be myself and just to really go through that, it just like killed a part of me. And I just never in my life thought that I would go through something like that. And it wasn't common, you know, it wasn't like I could talk to somebody because there weren't many people that lost such young individuals like that, people who were so close to them. And knowing that I was supposed to be there, like I could have been there when he got killed. Like I could have witnessed the whole thing. Or who's to say that he didn't hang up on FaceTime with me? I would have seen it. So I think that going through all those things and then, you know, really taking a break from work. It was my first break that I had taken in a 3-year career. And I was in sales and marketing, you know, that's what I do every day. I'm slaving for another company that I represent, you know, I'm doing all that I can to make sure that I'm reaching a quota, that I'm keeping my job. And I was extremely well at it. I had MVP of this and that. I had awards, all this different recognition. And what lacked was the respect, and I didn't realize that until I actually went through what I went through. So I come back about 3 weeks later, back to work. And I end up finding out that my uncle, who was in a coma, had passed away. So at this point, I'm literally just like, what is God trying to teach me? Like, I don't understand what it is that's going on. I can never question God, but I am in a situation as to where I feel like, what did I do to deserve the things that I'm going through? You know, like, what is it that I did wrong to what I'm facing now is now my testimony? But you know what? I still didn't crumble. I was like, okay, I cannot focus on work. You know, I literally was at this man's gravesite and my boss at the time had texted me and was like, oh, what sales do you have for the month? And I'm like, I'm done. Like, I think that's what really triggered it for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling like a slave. I'm feeling like a number. I'm feeling like just a trophy to you. I'm not feeling valued. I'm not feeling like you really give a damn. And to feel like that in any instance, I think with anything, if you do not feel valued as a person, if you don't feel respected, forget the recognition. I don't need that. I need the actual respect from a person who I hold to such a high standard. If you're feeling like that, if you see, you know, anybody treating you a certain type of way, and if you're going through anything similar than what I went through, I had really climbed the corporate ladder since the beginning of having to beat odds, start as an intern, you know, really have to letting people know, hey, listen, I know I look different. I'm not blonde hair, I'm not blue-eyed, but I can still do the job just as anybody else can. And then doing it better than most people, especially in the short tenure that I had. I don't deserve to be treated like this when I have things to be grieving about. I now had 2 deaths in less than a month. All in all, I say that all to say, you know, once I come back, I was just like, all right, you know, went to work for about a week, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to take a leave of absence or something. One day I prepare for it, the next day I walk into work, I'm fired. So that was about 2 months ago. Ever since then, I've been hitting applications heavy. I've been doing everything that I needed to do to really make looking for a job my job. No income, nothing. And since then, obviously I've built a deep network. I've done everything that I've had to do, really learning and searching on how to network online, how to brand yourself, you know, how to create a profile for yourself, not only online, but on paper too, how to, you know, think of yourself as the product, and then you have to go in and having to sell it. And that's exactly what I did. I probably went through 60 interviews in person and maybe hundreds over the phone. And now, I mean, I start my new job tomorrow. And it's a beautiful thing, but I have a lot to live for. And I think that the one thing that I want the world to know is to never allow yourself to feel like you're less than because of how someone treats you. You know, to never allow yourself to quit just because you're going through things. To never really ignore your worth, you know. I think I ignored my worth enough, and I think that I fought through uphill battles enough to prove my point and to let people know, hey, listen, I'm here to stay. I know you don't want me here, but I'm not going anywhere. And the same people that didn't want to hire me initially, I'm going to show you just how much and just why I deserve to be here. And I did that up until the end. I walked away. I didn't put a fight up. I said, you know what? I've given this company my all. I've given these people my all. I've done nothing but be myself. I've been an unbothered female since the beginning. I understand that I'm different. I understand that I talk different. I dress different. But I do the job almost better than every single person in here. And I humbly can say that. But when situations are put in front of you, God is going to test you multiple times before he allows you to quit. He's not going to let you quit, but that's up to you, you know. What I did, I just really just kept going. I just kept taking shots, and I was like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm not dead yet. And I now have people that didn't get to see the next day that I have to live for. I have to keep going. I have to figure it out. I got to do what I got to do. So I'm not going to lie to y'all. It got crazy. It went from I'm eating at 5-star restaurants to eating Hot Pockets again. Like, I went from making $9-10 grand a month and going on vacation every single month to having to sell my clothes and my shoes just to make money. And I went from shopping for a Porsche to literally having to like fill my tank up for $15 a moment and realizing like I gotta downsize my life. I have to humbly say I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, and I can do that, but I have to do it with a budget. Now, I always had a budget in my mind, but I got a little bit too spoiled. I got a little bit too happy. And God tested me. God had to really teach me and say, listen, Sage, yeah, you deserve all these things, but in moderation, you know? So with my job, with my assets, with everything, I was able to pay all my bills because I sold literally half of my closet, but I didn't wear it anyway. I now am the partial owner in a lounge with the person who passed away, his close friend who introduced us. I now start my job tomorrow. I now have my YouTube. I still have my supportive friends, my family, everything. And, you know, I think I have my integrity. I think I still have my mind. I didn't go crazy. I did grow a couple of gray hairs, but I'm okay. You know, like, I lost a little bit of weight. I got back up. I got myself together. Now I'm just going to go ahead and focus back on work. Try to get my real estate license. Get that all the way together. Get this lounge on and popping. And influence the next person to not give up. To not allow certain situations to buy you down. To not crumble. To not feel like just because someone told you no, that you're not worth it. That you're not qualified. That you're not able. To not allow people to treat you like nothing. And, you know, that's exactly what I did. That's what I stood by. And hopefully you guys can make sense of everything that I said in my little story. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you know, feel free to kind of write in the comment section. I am completely open to all types of criticism, all types of questions. I don't have an issue in answering anything. And, yeah. I gotta go to sleep because I gotta get ready in the morning. So, bye, y'all.